If you own a property and have a second mortgage on it, and if you want to keep this property and get rid of the second loan, attorney Shah Peerally can help. Call 510-742-5887. Due to the uncertain economy, many people have settled their debts for a fraction of its value. It's recommended to use an experienced lawyer to deal with it. Shah Peerally is an experienced debt settlement attorney and has handled hundreds of such cases successfully. There are no upfront fees for debt settlement. Only when you win, you pay. Call Shah Peerally, attorney at law, at 510-742-5887 or visit yourdebtsettlementattorney.com for a free assessment. This is just an advertisement. No attorney-client relationship is established by this ad. The law does not guarantee success. Call 510-742-5887.
And now, from the San Francisco Bay Area studios, KLOK proudly presents to you the prominent attorney Shah Peerally for the Shah Peerally Law Show, coming at you with over 50,000 watts of power. The Shah Peerally Law Show, where all your views matter.
Hello everybody. Assalamu alaikum, Sastikal, Namaskar to all the listeners. And this is attorney Shah Peerally for the Shah Peerally Law Show, and I have today with me on the board Franco. And anything I'm going to tell you today is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. The number to our office is 510-742-5887. The website is attorneyonair.com. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we came back here 1 week. Last week I was speaking a lot about the elections, and my fear and my predictions unfortunately came through, or fortunately for some people, but for most, my feeling unfortunately came through. Donald Trump is the next president of the United States. And as per today, we are trying to still figure out what will be the consequences on immigration. As you know, we are an immigration law firm, and Donald Trump's rhetoric and propositions have been widely discussed, but many people don't even cannot really figure out where he stands because he has been flip-flopping on many issues. Having said that, it might be for the worst, but it might also be for the best. On my side at this point, I don't see the best coming, unfortunately, but hopefully we will be able to make him change his mind. That's the message I will be having today, changing his mind. So first of all, I am going to, as you know, the new president-elect will take office on January 20th. So until then, President Obama is still the controlling president. Because of that, things are going to be pretty much somehow on a normalcy level, hopefully. But this is what is my fear now. These are the things that I personally, this is my opinion again, what will happen. There was an article on NPR yesterday where they say what President Trump will do in his first 100 days of office. And what I did, I kind of selected the few ones. There might be a lot more, but at this point I selected 5 of them, maybe 6, of what will be the danger right now for immigrants. And then we're going to also discuss about what are the options. And of course, we will be taking calls in 5-10 minutes. So Franco, hold on the calls if there are any callers right now. The number to the studio, by the way, is 408-912-5565. We need to really go over this. And the second phase, I will be talking also about the visa bulletin. But first, this is what is kind of a little bit scary and still blurry. We need to figure out what he means by them. But one of the things he said on the first day of office, he will be canceling all the executive action and memorandum an order issued by President Obama. This is broad, okay? This is huge, because many of the immigration laws we have seen in the past 8 years, or 4 years, 6 years, have been coming from those executive action, from those memorandum, and from those orders, because Congress was not doing anything about it. We were very proud of that. I was a champion for the H4 EAD, and I'm still a champion of that. And I will now discuss what are those executive action orders that we have seen. One of them was prosecutorial discretion. This is when we have cases in court, we're able to negotiate with the DA, not the DA, but the prosecutor in the case, the government, to get the case out of court and get a resolution on it. Number two, of course, the big one, which is going to affect millions of people, is DACA. DACA has already been on hold for a while, but ultimately, my fear is because DACA created a huge database of those people who filed for DACA, so he will have their names, address, and their family members' names and address. So, not to create fear there, but that's something that I was worried about for a long time. I even wrote an article on my blog on this, Immigration Legal blog, at least I think 7 months ago. Now, the third one, which is my biggest one, not third one, but the one that I'm really worried about is, of course, the H4 and the H4 EAD. Not the H4 itself, because H4 was not under memorandum. H4 is attached to H1. The H4 EAD, which we have fought so long for, might be gone. And the question now that everybody is asking me, when will it be gone? Well, it can be gone different ways. He can just cut it off the next day, or the second option, he might at least give people who have already gotten the work permit to continue using it until it expires. They won't renew it, or he might altogether just come back and keep it. Now the question, will he keep it? There is a chance he will keep it, by the way. The reason for that is, I think H4 is attached to H1, the H4 EAD I'm talking about here. And there is a push by the Republicans, and he's a businessman. He knows many people on those H4 are ultimately providing services or helping businesses. So we might not see a change there, and that's what I'm praying for. The rest, I know, unfortunately, the rest he will cut off. As for STEM OPT, also a lot of people have been telling me, no, he won't cut off STEM OPT. Excuse me. The question, will he do that? I think yes, because the STEM OPT has been litigated heavily in court, not like the H4. The STEM OPT was heavily litigated, so the first probably victim will be the STEM OPT. Now the question, same question, will he allow people who have gotten it to use it? We don't know yet. Or he will just cut it on the same day, or allow people who got it to continue using it, or ultimately keep it. So that's where DACA definitely will be gone. That's too big. He's not going to let that happen. Now, other issues other executive action, I don't want to discuss more because those are the main ones that affect our community and affect most people we know. So I'm going to leave it to that because it's really kind of depressing at this point. Second, he's going to put someone to replace Justice Scalia. For those who don't know, right now the U.S. Supreme Court is running on 8 justices, and 4 are conservatives and 4 are liberal. And what is happening, most of the cases are being tied. That means there's not much being discussed at the Supreme Court. But if he's going to put a new judge, and once he put that judge is going to stay there pretty much for a lifetime. And there might be other judges retiring or dying like Scalia, and guess what? The balance of power is going to shift. If that's the case, we are going to see some major change on those balance of power, including many of the laws that he might pass might be upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court. For example, now one of the things he mentioned is a ban on Muslims, etc. And ultimately, if you get the judges on your side, there is no way you can really reverse that. The third one, he said he's going to cancel the funding to sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities are those cities, for example, California has San Francisco is like that. If you are undocumented, you still can go ahead and ultimately stay there safely without the fear of the police kind of catching you and putting you in jail for no reason and things like that. So yeah, the federal government can still come after you through ICE and things like that, but not the local police. But if he cuts the funding of sanctuary cities, then the cities might have no choice than no longer be a sanctuary city unless people resist. And that's why we are hearing the next thing I'm going to talk about is Calexit. Basically, California, it might have a referendum getting out of the United States. So things are going to unfold really fast, so you need to follow. Fourth, is planning to remove 2 million criminal illegal immigrants from the country and cancel the visas from the countries that won't take them. For example, you have a bunch of people let's say from Mexico or from Latin America, from the Philippines or from India, and they have committed some crimes, and the crimes they have not really defined. Even a misdemeanor, they might use it to deport you. They might amend the laws, but we don't know yet right now. So he will send them back, and if their country don't take them, guess what? The country will be in trouble. He is not going to allow any of their dissidents to come to the United States. That means all visas, he said. Cancel all the visas. Fifth, he's going to suspend immigration from terror-prone regions, from vetting, where vetting cannot safely occur. But in other words, he's talking about Muslim countries and Muslim ban. That's the thing that has been really the big talk. He has been trying to soften on that, but the truth is he has not. The only thing is what he has done is kind of shift the talk in a different angle, but that's what he's talking about here now. And also for those who live in the United States, I know there's a lot of fear. I am a Muslim myself, and I know how much fear my children and everybody is are going through. But the truth is, I doubt he's going to back off on that, because it's already been happening recently. We had all those cases that were denied because people were from countries, even if you're not from a Muslim country, but if your country is kind of a country which is considered terrorist, and that will include probably countries like even India, Pakistan might be in that, Malaysia, Indonesia, Middle East, of course, and all the refugees. We don't know. He has not mentioned what he will do with the refugees, but he might even send them back to another country. We don't know about that, so I don't want to pronounce on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we are seeing right now is really a turning upside down of the whole system. I can only kind of advise so much on the existing law, but I can bet as from January 20th, the laws are going to change in this country unless there's a complete change of heart. A lot of people have been keeping hope that, okay, the Constitution will block him. I don't agree with that. And I've been pretty right on my assessment. I did an assessment almost 8 months ago that he's going to win the election. I even, on the day of the elections, I made a prediction. I got it almost right by 6 electoral votes. And people were laughing at me when I said it, but I knew he was going to win because I had a feeling the way things were going. So now the question is, what can we expect? And how we can fight this? Well, that's a big question for people, for lawyers, for civil rights movement. How do we fight this? One of the ways is, of course, to challenge every of his actions in court. And if we have a good federal court, like in the Ninth Circuit, they will ultimately be probably siding with us on many of the issues. But what happens when it reaches the Supreme Court and he has put a disbalance of power, a judge that is going to be siding with him? Guess what? At this point, we're pretty much, it's a mandate. People don't understand it's a mandate because you have the House, which is going to the GOP, and the Republicans, the Senate, and you have the administration, and you will have the Supreme Court. So it's a complete no check and balances somehow. Hopefully there will be a lot of people of conscience that will stand up, but ultimately many of the things he's proposing have been proposed over the years by many others, but has just not made it because there were other people who blocked it. Now the question, how much are they going to be able to implement? I think it will be easy for him to reverse all the executive actions including the memorandums, because those were executive action. He doesn't need the permission of the Congress. However, he can be challenged in court. But the question is, since they are executive actions, canceling other executive actions, I doubt the court will really be able to do much about it. We will have to wait and see. Now, as the big question people are asking me, what happens to H-1B? He has not really been clear on that, to be honest. Some people think he's going to keep it. I think he will keep it, honestly, because I think, first of all, his wife was an H-1B, but the thing, he's going to really make it difficult. Or he might make it easy because he wants businesses to prosper. But having said that, he said he's keeping the jobs for Americans, not relating the fact that we need talents in this country. So that's one thing that is going to be really what is going to really kind of create fear here. And of course, the H4 will be attached to the H1. As for the EAD, since it was under executive action, we don't know what is the future for the H4 EAD. But I'm hoping with all my heart, because I fought so much for so many years for that H4 EAD, that it will be kind of tearing my heart apart to even think that it will go away. As for the STEM OPT, many people think it will be kept, but I doubt it also. Now, as for family petitions, when it comes to immigration, one of the things that he's proposing is that if a country, the vetting provision number 5 I was mentioning, is if you have a family petitions, for example, for a country that they have basically put under terrorism, like Afghanistan, Pakistan, Indonesia, etc., there's a chance you won't get the green card, even for a green card. So now, who's going to be in that? Which country is going to be on that list? We need to find out, because now no-fly also might be another issue. Many people, I fought when I became a lawyer. I did a lot of cases where people were placed on no-flight list, and it has actually created such a havoc because many people by mistake were there and you couldn't fly at all. So pretty much people who will want even to get out of this country might not be able to do so. That's another problem. So you can even run and hide if you're placed on that list. That's another thing we have to be worried about. And one other worry that I have, which is kind of sad, that affects whole humanity, of course, is climate change. I'm a very much a defender of the concept of climate change, and he doesn't believe in it. That means he says he's going to take all the money funding climate change and send it to something else, and he's going to use coal, etc. I wish that analysis was done prior to the elections, hoping people will understand. And remember, the truth is he's a president, what we call not president-elect, president-select, because he's been selected to the electoral votes. The majority of people didn't vote for him, although I knew he was going to win for a long time, because the way things were going in this country, it was kind of already what I think the mistake the Democrats did, first of all, they ignore the social media and the backside. If you go on social media, for example, YouTube, etc., all those issues of conspiracy theories, they were supporting, and they believe in those. And the truth is that there are many of times they will get it right, but many times they get it wrong. But they were all supporting Donald Trump, and that's what people watch. I was traveling and I saw just before the elections, and if you look at people's life in some remote areas, it's very different. They have a small space. They barely have jobs. Most of them, many of them, are sitting in bars and at gun shows or things like that, and they are stressed. They don't see what's happening in the city. And here in the city, in states like California, like in New York, we think that's the world, but that's not the world. If you look in the middle, look at the map. The map is completely red. The few blue states have concentration of populations, but they are not they are not a reflection of America. And the truth is that the reflection of America is what you just saw in that election. That means basically an anti-immigration push, a lot of distress, and I understand them, because nobody has really given them a chance to express themselves, and Donald Trump gave them a chance. So now the question is that he will probably be great for America, no question about it, because he's going to basically, another thing he's going to cut out is he's going to make it hard to outsource jobs, which will give jobs to ultimately will give jobs to people in the United States. But now the question, I went over the immigration side. I can go on and on what is going to be good and bad. Now let us talk about a little bit some hope now. We cannot just keep talking and complaining. One of the things I think will be happening is that since he's a businessman, he's more malleable. For one thing, he said he's going to work with other countries. That means Russia, the two big powers, wars will be decreasing in many parts of the world, hopefully. And maybe Afghanistan, maybe hopefully make Pakistan and India come to peace, maybe Middle East, and the world will be probably better on this side. Now, the other thing that I think might be, he's not such a bad person. Don't get me wrong. I know the guy for a long time. Since I came to America, I was always fascinated by Trump. He's very charismatic. He's very smart. He can understand things that other people don't understand, and I've always admired that in him. But his problem is he cannot keep it to himself, and that's why you see all the Twitter, and that's why today the CIA is a little bit, not CIA, but the Secret Service is a little bit scared of giving him information, because anytime he can tweet it out. But at the same time, you know, how many secrets can the government keep, especially when it comes to the life of the people that are affected. So maybe on that side it will be good. So the thing that we have to do now is appeal to his humanity. He's not a bad person, like I said. He's never been. He has a big mouth. He can talk. He goes with the flow. So if tomorrow the people say, hey, you know what, don't hurt immigrants, he will not hurt immigrants. Now, what we need to do as immigrants here in this country, we need to change the mind of those people who are seeing us as the danger. And we have not done that. Many immigrants, on the contrary, we have shut ourselves down. We don't want to really kind of connect with those people because we are scared of them, or we see them as really not worth it. But that's where we got it wrong. We have to also admit there's a lot of this our fault. We come to United States. We embrace a lot of things, but we don't want to really share the goods that we bring here with those other people, because we think, okay, we create our own world and we are happy with it. And that's the biggest problem we are having. And they are having the same problem. We are not integrating, they are not integrating. And this is where we have the clash of civilization. If you have read the book, and this is what is the biggest problem we are having, and this is what was reflected in the last election. And it's sad to say that a lot of people think they voted for him just for that, and you cannot really kind of make sure that you cannot really kind of tell people that it's just like that. You can only do things in a way which help. I'm sorry for that interruption. I had the door open. So Franco, I think I've been talking for a while now. I'm going to take callers if you have callers. So ladies and gentlemen, you can call if you have any questions. The lines will be open now till 11. 408-912-5565. I know I kind of hold on the callers, but I will take the callers if you have them. 408-912-5565. And also the next topic, I'm going to discuss a little bit about the visa bulletin which came out yesterday, December visa bulletin. And just as we predicted too, the no great movement, 3-month movement, and EB2, which is not great, but at least it went to 2008 February, and you can check it on my YouTube channel, the link of it. And also now the predictions. I'm going to make some predictions for January, since it's still going to be an Obama presidency. I think, hopefully, that's my hope, there will be a good movement coming on the acceptance date, the Chart B, because he's leaving, and I hope he will consider that. But Having said that, with all the mess going on and all the things going on, including the protests, etc., there might be other issues coming up. But I think there will be a movement in January. So this is my prediction. Movement in January, probably going to 2009 maybe on the regular dates, and then on the dates of the acceptance, it will be going further than that, maybe 2010. But that's my hope. After that, all the bets are open. We will know. I will do the prediction later, but January might be a good month, so watch out for January 2017 visa bulletin. And this is my predictions for today on that. Let me take one call and then we'll go back to this. This is Shah Peerally. You're live in here. Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Hi. My name is Venkat, and thanks for the talk. I have a question. So the question is about the green cards. Like you talked briefly about it in your speech, but I'm just curious, how much can we predict right now, about what Trump is going to do about the green cards?
Green cards, I don't think it will be affected. It might go slower, but it won't be affected. I'll tell you why. That's why I didn't discuss about it. Green cards, unless you are from a country which has called vetting countries, and I don't think India is in that, but if you're from Pakistan and things like that, you might be worried. But the green card will not be affected because he said one thing in his speech. He said it's unfair on people who are waiting in the lines to be passed over by people who just crossed the border. So basically, people who do things by the book, and those green cards are set up by laws that were enacted by Congress, I doubt he will take away people's green card. However, he will make hard for people to keep a job on H1B. That might be a problem because he will put maybe rules that before hiring an H1B, they might have to test the market a bit like they do on the green card. But apart from that, I don't think he will take away people's green card. And now for people who are on green card, yes, there are a lot of things that will happen. Well, for one, a lot of people have been calling me since since the election. What happened when they file for citizenship? Same rule will apply. If you're from one of those countries, quote unquote, he's talking about vetting, there's a chance we won't even get the citizenship. So now the question is if your question is just the green card, I think the green card will continue as normal, except he will make hard on people who are waiting on the H1B to keep their jobs, unless they're really necessary positions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good luck to you. I'm sorry for that, but I have to tell you what I think, but I might be wrong on that. Let me take another caller if there's any. This is Shah Peerally. You're live in here. Hello? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I know I block all the callers and I told them I won't take the calls, but I'm still taking calls right now, and I know people are really scared and fearful, and as a lawyer and pretty much now a leader in the community when it comes to immigration, I don't have much reassurance except we need to continue the fight. The fight doesn't stop here, and I've been fighting a lot for a lot of issues in my life since I became a lawyer. I fought for many things, but the platform was different. It was easier for me to keep on the fight. I became a lawyer during Bush time, and there was still an ability to fight because they were abiding by the rules. Now the question is how this maverick kind of style is going to fit. But one good news is that we are seeing a lot of civil rights organizations like ACLU, you name it, they are getting ready to fight. Let me take one caller. This is Shah Peerally. You're live in air.
Hi, Shah. Thanks for taking the call.
You're welcome.
I have a question. My employer has applied an EB1 C green card for me, but I have to move to a different client location. So the movement is in process. So I just wanted to know, will it affect my application?
Not really if it is the same company, because EB1C is not like H1B. Which visa are you on, H1B or L1?
H1B.
Okay. No, it won't really affect it as long as the company is the same and everything, the offer is the same. But make sure that you're not doing something different and which will be contradicting. So So I don't think there will be any problem on that.
So the I-140 is not approved yet. So will there be any questions, like in case if there is an RFE?
Well, it will be, yeah, there might be an RFE because remember the EB-1C is for future kind of employment. So as long as there will be an offer at that place when you get the green card, you should be fine. Okay?
So it's safe to move to a different client location out of California, right?
Well, it all depends on your case, but technically if it's just a normal moving for a project or something like that, yes. But if you're changing completely the whole offer, then they might question the case. But usually, yes, there's no problem on that. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good luck to you. Let me take another caller. This is Shah Peerally. You're live on air.
Hi, sir. Thanks for your show and for the service also for the community.
Thank you.
So I have a question like regarding the I-140 EAD.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the status right now? It is drilled down to I-140 irrevocable.
It's not going to happen now. It's not going to happen because remember, if you had listened to my show earlier, all those were under executive actions of President Obama. He said, Trump said he's taking all this away. Even those that has already passed, like H4 EAD, there's a chance it will be taken away. So the chances, unless Obama just want to make people happy for a couple of months, it get passed, but it's going to be taken away anyway. So only way we will be able to change the laws on immigration now is to go to Congress. And that's going to be a long haul fight. So there's no hope there, sorry.
Recently I see people saying I-140 irrevocable will be implemented. At least that is the minimum thing they can do.
People on forum just want to get hits on their website, so they write a lot of things. So, but that's not the law. It's never been passed. If it was there, I would be the first one jumping on it. But unless I got it completely wrong, I missed something. But no, it's not there. I double check, it's not there. Okay, sorry for that. It won't happen unless some miracle. Okay.
All
right. Okay. Good
Thanks
luck to you. Let me take another caller. This is Shah Peerally. You're live on air. So I think, so ladies and gentlemen, I know I can feel it in the voice of all the callers. There is a lot of despair going on, but hey, guess what? We will bounce back. This is not the typical countries, and good people will fight for the right thing. Sorry for that. But I think that thing that he mentioned, that first day he become president, those 5 things are going to be implemented. So he didn't talk about deporting all the immigrants who are quote unquote illegals, undocumented according to me, but he talked about those criminals. Supposedly what he calls criminals are people who have misdemeanors, DUI, etc., etc. I don't know what he's putting in the category, but he wants to send them back. Now the question, how can he do that? Well, he will have to go to the court system, and he also said he's not going to increase the federal employees, which are judges. So how is he going to do that unless he finds some kind of ways to do things where he can shortcut the system? And I think he can if you use the same kind of concept as summary removal at the airport, but there will be a lot of constitutional issues there. So by the time this goes to court, hopefully he will be out of the presidency and things are going to change. Well, again, I'm just putting my opinion here. By the way, this is purely my opinion. Everything I'm telling you today is for educational purposes only. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions, and you can contact our law firm 510-742-5887. Let me take one caller. This is Shah Peerally. You're live on air.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Shah. Thank you for taking my call.
You're
I have
welcome.
A quick question. How easy is it for Mr. Trump to scrap the whole H-1B process, and how vulnerable are the people who are in the United States working on H-1B? I'll take your answer offline.
Okay, that's a beautiful and excellent question. I've been thinking about that because this is our main worry. It won't be easy just to scrap it, means basically get rid of it. Now, in 1952, H-1B was enacted. So it's been there for 60 some years, right? So it will be very hard just to take away that whole thing. However, the way he can do it, and I'm not going to give him ideas here, but the way he can do it is to make it very, very difficult. A bit like they did with the 2010 UFL memo, where they say, oh, you got to show us end-client letters, etc. But in this case, he might actually just put a rule that you have to put an ad, for example, run it for certain number of days. Then if you don't get a U.S. employee, then you can move to the H-1B, which is going to be very, very another headache for people to do. Now, having said that, look at the flip side of the coin. Donald Trump is a businessman. He himself, many of his businesses have a lot of H-1Bs. I bet you people are listening to us probably work for Donald Trump somehow. So he's not going to kill himself. He's not this kind of guy. He's very much the guy who will abandon ship first if he has to do it. But that means basically because of that, we have some hope. So I think H-1B, investor visas, will be really hot when in his presidency, because he will want money to come in. He doesn't want money to go out, which is kind of good for America. But he will, all those humanitarian visas, many of those visas I've mentioned before, those 5 criteria like H4, stamp, those are usually based on humanitarian ground. There's no real profit for America in this. But because like we passed the stamp was passed, as much as people think, oh, we are scientists and everything, they need us, it's not really that, because there are other options for scientists like EB1 or visas. What they are talking about here is pretty much humanitarian ground and keeping the business good for schools to make money. And that might be his only reason he keeps that one too. But H-1B, to take away H-1B, first of all, will be the death of the Silicon Valley. If he wants to punish California, he takes away H-1B, we are gone. Everybody's gone, including myself, because there will be no work for me, no work for people, everybody else, all the businesses, house market is going to crumble, everything. And we're expecting that, actually. So to answer your question, it's not easy for him to take the whole system out, because these were placed basically through what we call the Congress, and he's been there for 60 years. But with him, you never know, but it will be very hard. That's to answer your first part. But he might make it very difficult to get an H-1B. So be ready for that, okay? So that answers the question, hopefully. Let me take another caller, Franco, if I have. This is Shah Peerally, you're live on air. Okay, so I'm getting questions which are very, very deep, and I'm really appreciated, because today is a historic day for, quote-unquote, for America, but it's also a historic day for immigrants, because we are going to see some really bad things happening, unfortunately, but there might be good things that happen with it. Let me take another caller. This is Shah Peerally, you're live on air.
Yeah, hi Shah Peerally, how are you?
I'm doing well, sir, I'm doing well.
Good, good. Have you ever thought that Modi will just stop this currency, 501,000?
Yeah, I heard that, but I was so busy with the elections, I didn't really focus.
Things happen like that, so don't take it granted. Don't answer presidency questions, because that doesn't belong to you. I know you're an attorney, but you cannot just anticipate any questions or answers from your side. So let's see. It's the second day of the presidency.
No. These are all the questions. All the question I answered were not okay. I understand, but I am not anticipating anything here. These are things that have already been written, so I'm not anticipating. Anticipation, maybe they are guesswork. I'm hoping. All my anticipation are with hope. So what I'm telling you here is what has been written. The only thing is how or is this possible constitutionally or not. So analyzing it from there, these are not things I'm just taking out of my head. Those are things that has been elaborated clearly on his game, on his website, etc. So I'm not making those things up. So it's not a speculation I'm doing here. So as much as possible, I'm looking at it from a legal perspective. There's no politics there. You might be liking Trump, don't like Trump. It doesn't really matter for me. I'm a citizen. I won't be affected. I'm talking about what can happen. But as for the H-1B, I doubt it will go away. So I understand you. I'm not creating fear here. I'm talking to analyze so that we are prepared and how we deal with it. And there are issues we have to deal with. It's not like if we're not prepared, how are we going to deal with it? So if we know things that are strong, we can stick to that. Things that are not strong, we need to find alternative solutions. So I understand. I agree with you, though. I don't want to make speculations. Things might change suddenly because he has a different. But this is purely my opinion, like I said from the beginning. But it's based on law. These are things that he has proposed, and these are things that we see there. It's not new. It's not speculative. I'm basing only on those 5 elements that I brought there. So I understand your concern, and I seriously don't want to create fear, but the truth is that these are things that were proposed. It might change, hopefully. Congress might get involved, hopefully. The court might get involved, hopefully. But so far, these are things that they wanted to change, and we'll have to wait and see, like you said. But at the same time, these are proposed, and they will be there. So let me see if I have another caller. This is Shah Peerally Law Show. So, ladies and gentlemen, just to answer this caller, I really appreciate at least we have a different opinion, and I'm hoping, honestly, all the things that I'm saying I'm wrong, because like you said, we have to wait and see. And I heard of things happening in India, but the truth is that since we are focused in the US here, and I am not licensed in India, so I cannot pronounce what's happening in India. But the truth is that all the stuff that I mentioned here are things that have been proposed. Now, how constitutional are they? That's only a constitutional lawyer, a lawyer who really kind of study constitutional law can answer you. But from my perspective, following this, I've been practicing law for almost 12 years now, and I know more than 12 years, going on 13 years, and I know really what works and what doesn't work. And right now, because we don't have enough data, there's no way to really answer. But the one I'm giving you are things that has been said, and it came actually from NPR, and I saw it myself also on his website. So, and I've been conservative because there were almost 20 to 25 of those propositions. So I limited myself to only 5 because I wanted to make sure that what are the possibilities there. So I'm just giving the information here. So I'm just the messenger. So don't punish the messenger. I'm sorry for that. So now let us go to a little bit now on the before I took the callers. Okay, let me take another call. This is Shah Peerally. You're live on air.
Hi, Shah.
Yes.
Thanks for taking my call.
I'm
actually a silent listener of your show, and your show enlightens us in a lot of ways. Your show is absolutely excellent, I would say. So I just saw another caller calling, and he is expressing his opinion. But I request you not to get deviated with those kind of opinions, because whatever you do is really helping us a lot. So, your opinion actually matters a lot for us. My request is don't get deviated with such calls, because for every argument there are some people accepting it, and there are very few or minor people coming up with a different kind of explanation altogether. So, that doesn't should. I mean, it's better always to predict, expect worst case and prepare for that and face it. So please don't change it. Please don't get deviated. It's really helpful. Please thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. This is important. But we also want to hear the other side. And honestly, even in my own entourage, my friends, we have different opinions. But for me, I'm trying my best to limit. Honestly, I have more to lose. I don't have that much to lose. Honestly, I'm a Muslim. That's one thing for sure. I'm also an immigrant, but I'm a U.S. citizen. So I don't have much to lose in this. On the contrary, if I want to make money with this, I can, because I can easily sell people all kind of nonsense. But really, I appreciate what you're saying. But also, he has some point also we have to admit, because I might be totally wrong. I might come back and we see tomorrow, he's become the nicest person and he's going to be pro that. But I doubt it, because personally I doubt it, because the entire campaign was based on immigration. And people don't know that. It was immigration. Everything was immigration. And that's why now, if one thing I didn't even mention, the wall. He's planning to build a wall on Mexico and California borders, etc., and well, not only California but the U.S. and Mexico. I don't want to talk about that because I don't think that will be an easy task. That's why I'm not even discussing about it. Every media you will see will talk about that. I talk about it quickly, but that's not really the issue. Even if you put a wall, that doesn't change our situation. Our situation is to look to our community that I've been serving for a long time now. I'm not from India, but most of my clients are from India, from Pakistan, from Afghanistan, from Asia. I pretty much have all over the world, but I have to look at it from their perspective because nobody is really looking at this perspective. Everybody is looking at it from, okay, Mexico people will not be able to come, which is something sad from this, but hey, who's looking at our interests here? Who's looking at those people who are here legally, who have been working hard, who have been building houses, putting their children in school? What happens if they make it hard on their H-1B? Those are the one I'm talking about. Let me take one caller. This is Shah Peerally Law Show. Hello? I think I lost the caller. So, ladies and gentlemen, I really, I know this is a very tough time. I am not coming with a message of hope, but I'm also not coming with a message of despair. A lot of things are going to happen. Amazingly, if you believe in God, He works in mysterious ways. Sometimes we see things in a very bad way, but the truth is that some good comes out of it. I think personally that many of the things that He has said, and it is heartbreaking for me to even say it because many of the things I personally fought to make happen, including the H4 EAD, which is very, very close to my heart. And I fought for 3 years. I put in that 3 years of my life, for most 4 years of my life, I put in fighting to make this happen. So now seeing this go away, it's like taking a child from someone. Not that bad, but at least it's something which is very close to my heart. So that's one, but there are many other issues. Many of my friends and people I know who are very, very good people, who are doing an excellent job in this country, are either on Greencard or on H-1B. And no matter you're from India, Pakistan, for me, I don't make a difference. For me, we are all human. We are all equal. If you come to me nicely, you treat me well, I'll treat you well. You treat me bad, I don't care what religion you are, I will treat you bad. But at the same time, for those who want to open the door and basically give us a chance to talk, we will be talking to them because I feel it's only fair that we talk about that. Now, the other thing that a lot of people are asking me about now, that's another related to the question of the H-1B, is what happens if they just deport us? What many people are calling me now, they have debts, they are not paying their debts, and what happens if they're deported or they have to get out of the country? I'm not talking only about H-1B, I'm talking about other people. Well, once you decide to leave, we can negotiate those debts for you if you want to keep the credit, etc. But that's another thing that we help people with. Since this morning, the courts have been flooding on houses and stuff like that. And you can check a little bit about debt. I don't want to talk too much about it today because of the issues, but many people are worried about that too. It's yourdebtsettlementattorney.com, yourdebtsettlementattorney.com. You can call us at 510-742-5887. So, Franco, I don't know how much time I got, but I am going to kind of recap what I said today. There are 5 things I commented on, and I didn't guess that from the blue, guys, okay? I did a lot of guessing work so far, and thanks to God, I pretty much, well, not thanks to God, unfortunately, I got it right. That's the problem. I got it right on the visa bulletin. I got it right on Trump winning the presidency, and I said that 8 months ago when, I don't know if you listened to my show at that time, and I said it also on the day, in the morning of the elections, he was going to win. The reason for that is there's nothing spiritual or anything in that. The only thing I did is very simple. Most of the people listening to me are engineers, logical, mathematicians. It's math. The U.S. population voters only usually 47 to 50% vote. There's another 50% that never votes, and they are eligible to vote. The reason they were not voting, they were not happy with anybody. Guess what? Just a small portion of those came out, and he won. He didn't need any immigrants. He didn't need anybody, honestly. And they can keep doing the math and write all kind of stuff. You will hear the news, and the news unfortunately got it totally wrong. And I knew they got it wrong because they don't want to accept the fact that there is a huge population that they call disenfranchised or whatever word they use. But the truth, many of them are anti-immigration. You can call it quote unquote racist or xenophobia, but it's there. And it's been there for all the countries in the world. Everybody has it in their heart. Okay, so nobody can claim not to be a little bit racist, not to be a little bit xenophobic. But the difference is that we keep it in ourselves. We don't take it out because we know it's wrong. We don't want to tell people that, hey, we feel this way, because we know why would we hurt that person, especially if we like that person. But what has happened under this new election, people have they have basically let, because their candidate told them, yeah, it's okay to say it, they've been saying it. And they have not really stopped saying it. Bullying has started already. It was already happening. I have a lot of people who are my friends are taking their kids out of school because they wear the hijab, for example, or they wear the topi, or people who wear who are sick and who have the turban. So because they are getting bullied, and now it's right to do it according to certain people. And it's not really America that has voted. It's a chunk of America has voted, but the way the electoral system is set, that's how Donald Trump won. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's probably good for America, for people who are born here and things like that. Definitely it might be good, which is only fair. But on humanitarian ground, on humanity, looking at the world as one global place, how fair is it to immigrants? I don't have to really worry, to be honest, because I'm a U.S. citizen. But does that mean that I don't care about other people? No, it's wrong, because I care about Americans as much as I care people from India, as much as I care from people from Nepal, from Africa, from Europe, because we all one at the end of the day. No matter how much we try to divide ourselves, we have maybe teams or fun or divide, putting frontiers and etc. But the truth, if you believe in God, God didn't really create frontiers. We created them. So that's something like a bigger debate. But having said that, ladies and gentlemen, my last few minutes, I will tell you a message of hope. The hope is that there are a lot of groups out there which are going to fight all those rules that are going to be negative rules, and you need to support them. Hopefully, organizations will stand up, like the Asian Law Caucus, like this, like ACLU, like NAC. They have so many of them, because this is not a one-person fight. And right now, we are hearing a lot of protests on the street, and I'm really sad to see people are breaking things. It's not going to help. On the contrary, it will hurt. If you want to protest, yes, you can protest. There are many ways to do that. One of the ways was to vote, 2, get educated, and 3, start passing that education to others. Don't just sit on yourself and hope things will be okay. Yeah, things might be okay. It's in God's will. But you need to make an effort. You need to make it happen. You cannot just sit and wait. And having said all this now, we will know how things are really going to unfold after January. So until then, if you have to do stamping and do things like that, go and do it now. I cannot really predict what will happen in the future. I might be totally wrong. Like I said today, this is purely my opinion. And I know some people don't feel good about it, but guess what? This is my opinion. That's why we are in the United States of America. Freedom of expression. I'm not offending anybody. I don't think people who voted for Trump are bad people, by the way, because they are looking at their own way of thinking. The problem is the media is to be blamed, or ourselves are to be blamed, because we never really pass our knowledge to them. So having said that now, let us see what happens in the next few weeks and months, how things are going to unfold. As for those 5 points, check it out. I'm going to put this radio show on the YouTube channel, and I'm going to kind of put a link as much as possible of those information. Again, everything I'm telling you today, ladies and gentlemen, is for educational purposes only. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. I thank Franco and KLOK for giving me a chance and opportunity to speak. Thank you so much. I'll be back next Thursday, and Friday night we'll have the show. Bye-bye.